Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Willie, and it's the encouraging word for today. Who are you? Someone to say, who are you? Not your name, but who are you? How would you describe yourself? If someone asked you that question 10 years ago, how would you describe yourself? Would you have the same answer 10 years ago as today? How about 20 years ago? Those of you who are older, how about 30, 40 years ago? Would it be the same as today? How about in 5 years? Would you have the same answer as today? Satan has a strategy, and that strategy is to convince you and I that we cannot change, that our life can't change, that what we are is what we will always be. He wants us to be stuck. And my friends, there are millions, if not billions of people, even many in church, who walk around stuck, believing that things cannot change, circumstances cannot change, and they cannot change. In fact, people will tell you that, sometimes directly, and sometimes in indirect ways, that you cannot change. Now, when we think of famous people in the Bible, like Moses, I'm not talking about Jesus, but human beings, 100% human beings, not 100% human, 100% God, but just human beings. Think of Moses, we think of Paul, we think of Daniel, and they're really looked up to as heroes. And we think, well, they must have been born that way, or they were always like that. And if we were thinking of people to name, the Apostle Peter would be high on that list. He's right up there. He walked with Jesus. He led the church, the early church. He was the leader. He wrote 2 books of the Bible, and he seems like a very special person, close to God. And we get the impression, or we can get the wrong impression, that he was always like that. But actually, before he met Jesus, he was not like that at all. And I'm sure if you had gone to him and said, you're going to be a follower of Jesus, the Son of God, you're going to be one of his leaders. In fact, you're going to be the leader of this movement that is going to start. You're going to be one of the early leaders. People 2,000 years from now are going to know your name. There's going to be some guy on YouTube talking about you in 2,000 years. He would have said, you are crazy, man. I'm a fisherman. I'm not even that religious. I go once in a blue to the synagogue, but I'm a rough and tough guy. I'm a businessman. I have this fishing business. I'm married, have some kids. I have rough character, rough hands. You know the whole deal. That's me. I'm a hard working class guy. That's not what you're talking about. That's not me. How would he have answered, who are you? He would have said, fisherman, normal guy, working class type of guy, not especially religious. Now let's turn to 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 1, the first part, and 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 1, the first part. I'm going to read them to you now. Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ. 2 Peter. Simon Peter, a servant and apostle of Jesus Christ. Peter, an apostle. Who are you? I am Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ. That was his identity in 1 Peter. An identity of an apostle. Apostle means a sent one, a hand-picked, chosen servant of God, sent by Jesus Christ, on behalf of Jesus Christ, an ambassador for Jesus Christ. Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ. 10 years earlier, he would have never said that, never even imagined to say it. 20 years, forget about it. In 2 Peter, he says, Simon Peter, a servant and apostle of Jesus Christ. He's a little bit older now, so he adds the servant part in there. He's a servant. He's not a boss. He's not someone who wants to be first. He's one who wants to serve others. And he calls himself Simon Peter, kind of remembering back to when he was called Simon, one of the fishermen, and how his life changed. And if you ask him who you are now, he would say, Simon Peter, a servant and apostle of Jesus Christ. If you would ask him before he met Jesus, who are you? A fisherman, an ordinary guy in Galilee, hardworking guy, just trying to make ends meet. But a powerful life change, underline that word change, had to take place. The potential that he had to be unleashed. And let me tell you, from God, this is from God to you today, you have potential that you have never imagined, that you have never tapped into. Wherever you are right now, you have potential. Getting stuck is what Satan wants. What God wants is to break you free and release your potential. The story of Simon Peter teaches us that change is always possible. Transformation of our lives, of anyone's life, is always possible. So we're going to take a journey along with Peter. Peter journeyed with Jesus daily on this journey. For 3 years, Peter was with Jesus. He was called, and then he was 3 years with Jesus daily. He didn't have the change in a moment. It was a process over time, a process of life change. There were big moments. There were big moments of surrender, big moments of being filled with God's power, but it was a process over time. That teaches me that what I am today will not be what I'll be tomorrow, because I am on a journey with Jesus. You, if you are a follower of Jesus, what you are now, how you answer that question will be different now from 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 1 year from now, because God is working, bringing life change to you. So we're going to take a journey here on the encouraging word through the life of Peter. That's going to be our framework. We're going to look at 1st and 2nd Peter, but we're also going to look at the life Peter had with Jesus in the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And we're going to see what did Jesus teach Peter? How did he work with Peter? We're going to pretend we're in Peter's shoes from his point of view. And we're going to be hearing what Jesus says. We're going to be experiencing what he experienced. Because we don't want to be stuck either. I want life change. I don't want to be stuck where I am now. I hope you don't want to be stuck where you are now either. So that 1 year from now, and I don't know how long the journey is going to take, but 1 year from now, I don't want to have the same answer as I have today. Because I'm not what I was, and by the grace of God, I will not be what I am today. So I invite you to take that journey with me on the encouraging word as we begin journeying with Peter in his footsteps as we follow Jesus together. God bless you. See you tomorrow.